So what do you think happened? Yeah, I applied and was denied again. But let's just cut right to the chase, no pun intended, but I did get denied for my application for the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited. So there were actually 3 different reasons on why I was actually denied on this application. Ones that I really wasn't even aware of that could actually affect my applications, and ones that actually could affect your personal credit cards itself, so stay tuned. So let's talk about what you could be doing to prevent this in the future and how this relates to business cards and also the personal card side. So let's talk about it all right now. Believe me, if you didn't come across these reasons yet, you will in the future most likely. So let's actually back up a second and let's talk about exactly how I got here in the first place. So first and foremost, and in the forefront, is the YouTube business. That's what we're doing right now, even though I would do it for free for you. And secondly, I'm a real estate agent, which means I have a real estate business. And kind of for the YouTube business, but mostly for the real estate business, this one requires a ton of money and a ton of capital up front. And along with starting businesses, and this goes along for you guys watching at home, if you have your own business, you know there's a ton of startup costs, right? And all those costs need to be paid up front, and usually most people are paying in cash. But what if I told you that with starting your business and opening up a business credit card like I tried to, you could actually get basically free funding for your business for the next year and a half. That's right, for this card specifically, the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, it offers up to 12 months of 0% APR on all of your purchases. That essentially means that any purchases that you put on this credit card for the next 12 months are essentially not going to incur any interest whatsoever. Whether it's $1,000 or $10,000, at the end of those 12 months, it's still going to be worth $1,000 or $10,000. Whereas if you have a credit card that has a typical interest rate of like around 20%, that $10,000 is no longer $10,000 anymore. Now it's more like $12,000 to $13,000 at the end of that year. So in my mind, I'm not spending any money on this credit card that I wouldn't normally have in my bank account, but in this case, I'm just letting them hold the debt and let myself have the cash for a longer period of time. So in case of an emergency, I have the cash readily available and I only have to make the minimum payments on that business credit card. Now you do have to read the fine print on some of these business credit cards because some of them will actually have a clause in there, as John Baker, one of our subscribers, actually pointed out, which essentially means that same $10,000, if not paid in full by the end of those 12 months, you essentially have to pay back taxes on all of the interest occurred during those months because you didn't pay in full, but that's only on a select few cards. And that little exception does not actually apply to this credit card, so don't worry. Another reason that I wanted this credit card is because of the historic high sign-up bonus that it's offering right now of 90,000 worth of Chase Ultimate Reward points. Now, as you guys may know, pretty recently I've been crazed about Hyatt hotels and being able to transfer Chase Ultimate Reward points over to Hyatt and getting a higher cent per point value ratio over at Hyatt versus just keeping them with Chase. For example, this hotel I was able to scoop up for 8,000 Hyatt points, which is about $80 in value for a hotel that normally in cash would be about $380. And if you do the math, that's pretty close to 5 cents per point, meaning that same 90,000 points I would be getting with this business credit card would actually be worth around $4,000 to $5,000 in Hyatt value, which honestly just enhances the whole traveling experience, knowing that your hotel is going to be covered for the foreseeable future. And I guess you get to brag to your friends that you're paying in points, not in cash, but that's that's an arrogant thing to do. And I like the fact that it literally stays true to its name. It's an unlimited 1.5% cash back, meaning no cap, on all business expenses, so at least I was going to be getting some money back for all of my purchases, which was icing on the cake. So what did I do? I'm Anthony Venture. I don't just let things go that easily. So what did I do? I jumped in the car. Oh, wait, I was already in there. And I decided to drive all the way down to Chase, which was not too far. And I befriended everybody in the branch. And this way, I was able to do a reconsideration, which is essentially a separate line that Chase has that allows you to re-talk about your application to see if you might get approved, depending on your situation and depending on what you kind of say during the phone call. And I also just wanted to go in person, so this way I can hear exactly the reasons why I got denied and how I actually can fix it from somebody on the inside. And I know you're watching, the guy at Chase, so thank you both for helping me out with this. So once I actually got into the hot seat, I spoke to the representative and they said they were going to call on my behalf on the reconsideration line. And what came back was pretty interesting. I got 3 full reasons on why I was denied, and 2 of which I've never actually seen before. So the first reason that I was actually denied this credit card was for, you guessed it, the 524 status. I get it, as a residential credit card YouTuber, I should have thought about this beforehand. Now, hear me out. Okay, I went on Credit Karma, and I looked through the list and everything like that, and it looked like I was under 524, so I tried anyway. But I also did hear from a few people in the community that they were over 524 and were still eligible to actually get approved for the business credit card. Now, one reason why I think that actually might be the case is because from what I understand, Chase can actually rearrange some of your credit lines. So this this way, if you have multiple business cards or just multiple personal cards with Chase, you're actually able to deduct on their system some of the credit cards that are on their file, and they could actually forego that and let you get some new credit cards and actually go above 5 for 24. If you're unaware, business cards don't actually count towards your 524 status, but abide by the 524 status. So if you're at 524, you usually can't get approved. Sometimes you can. But if you're at 424 and you get approved for a business card, it will not go up to 524. It'll stay at 424. So it doesn't count in that way. So the second reason I was denied was something called business structure. And I had no idea what this meant. I thought I just input something incorrectly, and I just didn't quite understand it. So I asked the representative, and they pretty much in no uncertain terms told me, well, your business is just that new. So I said, really? Huh? Is that what that really means? So business structure, technically in their eyes, Chase's eyes, means that your business was too new, which is true. My real estate business, which is what I was getting the card under, is technically only 6 months. It wasn't necessarily into their system yet, and they didn't have enough data to actually approve me for that credit card. But from what I understand, and what they told me, is this usually is negligible, and it doesn't really matter as long as you reconsider and tell them it's new, and that you have proposed spending that you're going to be having on this card, then they can forego that and let you get approved. But typically, if you just call the reconsideration line and just tell them that, yes, it is a new business, but this is the proposed spending that I'm going to be having on this credit card and the actual business itself, they can usually forego that and let you get approved for the credit card, so it's usually not a big deal. Now, the third reason I was denied, which didn't make any sense to me whatsoever, which was insufficient business deposits. And basically what this means is they say that we can't approve you because you have no business deposits, which I said, that's the biggest catch-22 I've ever seen in my life. But this business is new, so I don't currently have business deposits because it just started, which is like, I just started the business, so I don't have any business deposits, but I wanted the business card so I can start business deposits. So it's like, let me get the card so I can make the deposits. Don't you want my business, Chase? And I wanted to start the relationship with Chase, but they denied me for the very reason I wanted a relationship with them. It's crazy. So I asked the representative, would it be pertinent if I were to open up a business checking account, and this would therefore allow me to deposit some money in there, maybe spend some money through there, and this would establish my business relationship with Chase, thus allowing me to get approved for that credit card? They mentioned that the answer is no. That should not actually have a big impact. And they also mentioned that this reason too is not a big deal, and they could just erase that and let me get approved in most cases. Though I have heard from people in the community that it is wise to possibly establish that business checking account, so this way the relationship is better. And since Chase is pretty high on the charts of a relationship style bank, they would want to see that data point before actually approving you. So I would say maybe it doesn't matter, but it also doesn't hurt either. Okay, so what did I do after that? And I decided, I took the hit and I said, all right, this is why I got denied. So upon all of those reasonings and going through that reconsideration line, I was still, well, denied. You got that right. But what did I do? Did I roll over and decide, there's nothing else I could do, Anthony Venture gives up? No. What I did was I checked Credit Karma again to see if I was under 524, and this time I rechecked, and let's just say that I literally made a second mistake. That's right. So the first time, it turns out that my 524 status was actually 624 on the initial application, and then I rechecked Credit Karma and I saw that one of my credit cards was actually just about to hit the 24-month mark. But what I didn't realize is it actually has to be the first day of the 25th month for the card to officially be out of 524 status. So say you got a credit card February 2021, well, you have to wait till March 2023 for it to actually drop off your account. So upon learning this, I jumped out of my seat and I said, oh my God, it literally just hit March. Let me reapply and see if I'll actually get approved. And lo and behold, I find out I'm still at 524. So what do you think happened? Yeah, I applied and was denied again. But this time, I decided to call the reconsideration line to see what they would actually say, and maybe if I could squeeze by, kind of schmooze a little bit to see if I could possibly get approved for this business credit card. And what happened? 524 again. And they said, you got denied again, bro. And it was for the same reasons. And what I did was I actually pestered the person on the phone. I was like, well, is there anything we could possibly do? Is there anything? I've heard some people get over 524 and they've been able to get approved. And they said pretty much good for them, but it's not going to happen to you, so don't even try it with me. And another weird thing kind of happened upon this conversation. One thing I actually mentioned to the representative on the phone was that maybe possibly could I move credit lines around? In this way I could kind of weave through the 524 and just get approved. I gave her a sob story like, oh, I have so much spend coming up. I don't know. I need a business credit card for this. And she felt a little bit sorry for me. But here's what she said to me, and I'm being honest, I was a bit taken aback. She said, well, I don't really see any spending. Like, any amounts of spending like you said you were going to be spending on this credit card on any of your cards like Chase, American Express, your Capital Ones, all the cards you have, all of your 10, 11 cards, you don't have that much spending on it. I said, excuse me, I mean, who are you to go into all of the credit cards and tell me what I am spending and what I'm not spending? But I get it, you're a bank. I was like, that was a little bit rude of you to say that. I mean, I don't know, maybe, is that normal? And I decided just, okay, you know what, this is too much. It's not the right time. It's not in God's plan. Let's just forget this application for now. Let's shelf it. And for those of you that actually want this credit card, make sure you sign up soon because the bonus of 90,000 points, I believe, is ending in just a few days. So it doesn't benefit me, but it benefits you. So at least somebody can benefit from this video. And what am I doing instead? Well, I'm actually going to be applying for a different credit card, one that's actually going to approve me and give me a ton of value, which will be in next week's video. And in the meantime, check out this video. It has a bunch of business credit cards that have high limits historically, so it might be one that you might want. I'm sure you get a ton of value from it. And that's it.